Namaste, hello, and welcome. Welcome once again to our next video. Today we are going to discuss about the do loop. In our last video, we discussed about the while when loop. Now, without much ado, let's start our video. So today's topic is do loop. So do loop is the third type of loop available in QBasic programming. So we did loops like for loop and the while loop. Now do loop is the most versatile loop in QBasic. Versatile in the sense like it can be used in many ways. Like for next loop, it had a counter variable, a numeric counter, whereas in while when we could use a numeric counter, or we could also use some string variables. Now in do loop, we can be using it as a pre-test loop as well as the post-test loop. In while when, okay, the loop used to execute when the condition used to be true. Now we can use do loop to run the loop when the condition is true as well as when the condition is false. So it has a wider range of application. So it can be used in many ways in for different programs as per the requirement of the program. So let us see how it is run. Before using any statement, any program commands, we need to know the syntax of it. So first of all, the syntax for the do loop, here it is. So as I told you earlier, it's very versatile. It can be used in many forms. So you can see over here the syntax is also different. Okay, I've written two columns. So actually it is 4. It can be used as do, the loop statements, and loop while or loop until along with the condition. So this is a post-test loop over here in this one. Here the program statements are executed first and the condition is checked at the end. And next category, next type is over here where we use do while condition or do until the condition, then the program statements and the loop. This loop is keyword. It will be easier for us to understand with the help of examples. Let us first try the while one. Do while loop or do loop while. For that, I'll start QBasic over here. Here I have the QBasic window. So as in the syntax, I type over here do while. Now a condition like C is less than or equals to 10. Let's print the value of C. Then for closing the loop, we give this keyword loop over here. Now if I give these 3 statements and run the program, it will be an infinite loop since I have not increased the value of C. So like in the while loop, in do loop also we have to increase the value of counter manually. So I'll write over here C equals to C plus 1. Now as you can see, you have already assumed, you must have understood what will be the output of this program. So it will print the value of C. Since I have not assigned the value of C in the beginning, it will start from 0. If you want to start from 1, you can give here in C equals to 1. Now it will print the numbers from 1 to 10. Let's run this and see. So you can see the output on the screen. Similarly, I'll do this using other method. That is the post test. So this was exactly like your last week's program. Now let us convert into post test by changing some of the program statement. I'll take this condition at the end of the loop. I'll write over here while C is less than or equals to 10. Let's run this. So you get the same output. So similarly, we can try more programs. So I hope this is not very difficult compared to while loop. Just the keyword is different. We used to write over here while, when. Now we have to write do loop. Let me try one more program which we did in our previous class. That was printing even numbers, frosted even numbers. Now what changes should I make to print even numbers from this program? So 1 is a odd number, it's an odd number, so I should change this value to 2. Now if I give print C, it will start printing from 2. Next even number will be 4. For that I need to add 2 to 2. 2 plus 2, it's 4 now. So if you have to print 10 even numbers, that means it has to go up to 20. So this is enough. If I run this, you get the same output again. Alright. Now let's do using until. Do until the condition is true, until the condition is false, or do loop until. Now while using until, you give the condition just reverse of the while condition. So if you are using less than or equals to, it becomes greater than. If you are using greater than or equals to, it becomes less than. If you are using equals to, it becomes not equals to, and vice versa. So one more interesting fact about do until loop is also the do while. It is the same in do while also. If especially I'm talking about the post test, okay. If you write do loop while, this is a post test loop. This loop will run at least once even if the condition is false. So I mean here I have written do while C is less than 20. Now suppose I give over here 21 or 20 itself. 20 itself, because here C equals C plus 2, it becomes 22. Or let us give 21 again. In the beginning, initially this is false. Still the program runs once. Let's see this. Because this is post test loop. But had we given the condition in the beginning over here, just like while C is less than or equals to 20, you get no output at all, because the condition is checked before the loop statements are executed. You get a blank output. So I hope you understand it. Now let's move on to until. Now as I told you earlier, in until you just reverse the relational operator. While C is less than or equals to 20, now this becomes greater than 20, while C greater than 20, and while becomes until. In until, you give a condition, such condition which will have to be ending point. Okay, so in until, do until or do loop until, the looping statements are executed when the condition is false. Like here, if I start from here 2, like before, do until c is greater than 20. Right now c is not greater than 20, so this loop will run until c does not become greater than 20. So like in common example in our day-to-day life, we can say like we have holidays until 15th of November, let's say. That means you will be staying at your home until 14 15. So after the 15th, then you start going to school. So this condition will wait for the counter to be greater than 20. So until it is not greater than 20, the loop keeps on running. So here we have c equals to 2. So the condition says until c greater than 20. Right now it prints c plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6, 8, 10, 12. It becomes 20. So equals to, on equals to mark also it will not stop. When it becomes 22, then it will stop. Let's run this program. So you get the first 10 even numbers. Similarly, now if you want to make it post test, you give at the end, you can give here also until c is greater than 20. Now you get the same output. So this loop will run until c does not become greater than 20. So as in previous example, if your loop condition is false in the beginning, in this case true, let's say true in the beginning, in pre-test it will not run, in post-test it will run at least once. For example, let's say this is 22, c is already greater than 20, but still it will run once at, let's see, you see over there. But in pre-test loop, if you had given like this way, until c greater than 20, now this will not run even once. So now let me do one more program using a string variable in the condition. I'll use exactly the same problem which we had done in our previous class in the while loop, finding the sum of any 10 numbers input by the user, right? So let me type the whole program. The program was something like that: ch dollar equals to y, while ch dollar equals to y, input, enter a number n, let us say s equals to s plus n, c equals to c plus n, sorry, it's 1, input, do you want to add more? That answer of the user is stored in the variable cs dollar. Oops, I wrote plus c equals to c plus 1. So I think you understand this program. Let me revise this one. Here initially the value of the variable, the string variable CS dollar is y. This loop will run while the value of CS dollar is y, when it is true, when this condition is true. So initially you ask for the user to enter any number. The value of that particular number is stored in the variable n, and it is added to the variable s to find the sum. And this variable c is to count the number of items, number of digits entered by the user. So, and this input statement over here is to ask whether he wants to continue or not. This is his choice, CS dollar. And after he gives yes or no, okay, y or n, this is instruction for the user. It repeats or stops the loop. It depends upon the answer of the user. So at the end, if you want to calculate average, then we write over here a equals to the sum divided by number of items, that's c, and you display it, print the sum equals to s, print the average equals to a. You end your program. Now let us you have already run this program using while loop. Now let's convert them into do. First of all, let's make it do while. Do while, then here you give it loop. Loop is the keyword which comes along with the do statement. So let's run this. This is just same as the previous program. So enter a number, suppose 7. If you want to continue, it's asking, let me give yes, I want to add more. Enter next number, suppose 8. It's asking again if I want to add more. Let me try one more time. Do you want to add, enter a number, let's say 9. Okay, I give 3 numbers. Now it's asking for me, I say no. Okay, n. So the sum is 24 and the average is 8. This is done using the pre-test loop, do while. Now let's give the condition at the end. Loop while CS dollar equals to y. No condition in the beginning. This is post test loop now. Now in this program you may not give this statement. This is not necessary to be given, because as I've told you earlier, post test loop, it will run at least once. So whether you give this statement or not, this loop will run once, then the user will give answer. If the user says yes, y, then it runs again. In a previous, let's say, program, this was necessary. Without this, okay, the condition will be false and the loop never runs. So it doesn't make much difference, so I'm not removing. Enter a number, suppose 10. Do you want to continue? Yes. 20. Okay, no. Okay, I will take only 2 numbers. Sum is 30, average is 15. So this is using the do loop while. Now the next one, until. Now let's, as I told you earlier, let's remove this one now. Let's try with without also. Instead of while, you write until, and for equals to, it becomes not equals to. Do while CS dollar is not equals to y. So the loop must run when the answer is not y. That means when you give n, it stops. You may also write do loop until CS dollar equals to n. As soon as you give n, it becomes equals to n, it stops. You can give either condition, it doesn't matter. Let's run this. Say enter a number, suppose 12. You want to continue? Yes. Next number 25. Do you want to continue? Yes. Next number and 13, suppose. Do you want to continue? No. So average is 50, sorry, sum is 50 and the average is 16. So let's try again. Let's make it no. CS dollar equals to, and this can be done in this manner also. When you give n, actually it stops with any other character, not only n. Okay. Sorry, if you give enter a number 8, 4 and 6. Okay, let's try this program now. This program will not stop until you enter n. Whether you give y or a or anything, it keeps on running. Let's see this one. Enter a number, suppose 8. Now I'm not giving y, I suppose yes, a, okay. It still continues. Enter next number, 6. B. So it must be n to stop. Enter next number, 4. Now I give n. Sum is 18 and average is 6. Now let's try the pre-test loop. For pre-test, we give the condition in the beginning until CS dollar equals is not equals to y. Now let me remind you, in while doing do loop while I told you CS dollar has to be given in pre-test. In post-test it is not necessary. Now this is pre-test. So the condition says do until CS dollar is not equals to y. If it is not equals to y means if it is equal, you'll have to run, isn't it? Let me remind you, okay, as I told you earlier, in pre-test you have to mention CS dollar equals to y, otherwise it will not run. Let's see this. See, sum equals 0. It has not asked for any numbers, okay. So 1 point something something, because the sum is 0, 0 by 0, oh, it's indefinite, okay, it's infinite. So I'll give over here CS dollar equals to y. So it is equals to y, it has to run. When it is not equals to y, it has to stop. Let's start. See, enter the number, it's asking for a number, suppose 12. Now here it has to run while it is not equals to y. So here also it's the same case, it implies the same thing. It's not mandatory you have to give n. When it is apart from y, okay, any other character, it will stop. Let's give yes, I need a few numbers, suppose 14. Yes. Now let me tell you one last thing, okay, as I have not mentioned the next y, small y, this will stop even for small y. Let me give small y this time. See here, this is different. Capital Y, small y. So QBasic will consider them as two different, let's say, character. So it will stop in this one. Let's see, 42, 14. Okay. This is all for today. Hope you like it. At the end, like I'd like to tell you, if you are nearby Vaktapur, e-computer solution, here Mr. Mukunda Ranjit Kai, he solves any kinds of computer problems. If you have any kinds of problems, you may consult him, you may talk to him. If you want to buy products also, sometimes home delivery also is also possible within the Kathmandu Valley or Vaktapur. So thank you.